Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast. Good morning and welcome back to the Ninja Selling Podcast. Matt and Garrett are here again. We're excited to be with you this morning. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody who's joining us. As always, we love all of you out there. And again, so appreciative of everybody who tunes in and listens and participates. When I say participates, real quickly, if you want to participate more in this world of Ninja and the podcast community, if you go to Facebook at www.facebook.com/groups/The Ninja Podcast, right?
The Ninja Selling Podcast. Yep.
Yeah, the Ninja Selling Podcast. You can go check us out there. We have an amazing group. I think we're at like 7,700 people now with massive participation every single day and week. And you can go have some fun in that community. And Matt, I think we talked about this the other day. Everybody's on very good behavior in there. Like, I feel like I've gone in so many times and it's just been all this positivity and helpfulness and sharing. And it's been great. I haven't had to step into anything in a while. It's been very nice.
Yeah, it has been nice. Everybody, I mean, that's what you get when you get a lot of ninjas together. So appreciate everybody who's in that group, just expressing their true ninja-ness. Even for those of you who haven't experienced ninja installations or things like that yet, which you can find, by the way, by going to ninjaselling.com. And you can learn more about installations, coaching, mastery, and all the other wonderful things that are offered by Ninja.
So to jump then into our topic today, Matt and I were discussing this morning. This is a topic, Matt, that's been on the table here for a while, and we keep kind of batting it around and going like, that's a good one, but we'll come back to it at the right time. And it's the mindset of like what you focus on expands. And a lot of people don't really kind of understand, I think, the bigger picture of how this works or how it can be a huge determining factor in success or failure or attracting in more of what you're currently seeing around you. So we're going to dive into this today. And we're watching a lot of people that's in this marketplace, in this world right now, can get caught up focusing on some things that aren't really the truth, or it's really not what they want to be seeing more of, but man, they get hyper-focused on it. So Matt, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of build on this one that we, a few episodes ago, we really kind of went broad with the what you focus on expands. And now I'm excited to kind of narrow in on a specific topic to show how this actually is impacting the way people are thinking and attracting business, right? And so we're specifically talking about what's going on in the economy and with interest rates, because Garrett, I can't go a day right now without somebody asking me, oh man, interest rates, that's going to totally change the market, or oh, what's going to happen? What's going on? And they're looking to me for these high level answers, which I appreciate that, but we're focusing on the wrong thing. And if you're just thinking that interest rates are going to ruin every opportunity that you have to be a really good realtor, that may happen for you. And so let's not focus on it, because
you might find it.
And the reason why I don't want to focus on it, because it's completely untrue. Rising interest rates, I understand they create challenges, but it's not going to destroy your opportunity to be an amazing advisor and transact a lot of business and help a lot of people buy and sell homes. That's just the truth.
What a lot of people don't understand is that you get approved on payment. You don't typically get approved on interest rate. So where we look at people and they go, oh, they won't be able to get approved. They won't be able to get approved because interest rates are higher. That's not true. Like, it's really not true, because there's a lot of ways to fix a higher interest rate. Matt, one way is you can bring more cash to the table. I was just talking with an agent the other day, and she's like, should I advise my clients to pull from their 401k to be able to get a down payment? And I'm like, you can throw it as an idea. I wouldn't advise them to do it, but if it works for them in the situation, I mean, I've borrowed from a 401k to buy a property and paid the 401k back. Like, there are ways you can do it for the right person at the right time, that I think in our world of real estate, our role is to give them paths, options, directions that they can take. And then they get to make the decision if it's a smart move for them. It worked wonderfully for me, by the way. Like, it's one of the reasons I have one of my investment properties. For the average person, though, like, they're looking at it as like, well, you would never want to do that. That's never a good idea, which again, if you're focusing on like these high interest rates, shut down everybody from buying property. It's like, well, does it shut down everybody? There are other options out here to make that work.
why does it have to be so black and white, right? I think we immediately jump to it's go or no go because of what's happening when there's a lot of other levers that we can adjust. Not saying it makes it easy. I'm not saying this is all like, oh, we can just find a simple solution that slides you into your dream property right here. Not at all. But you can also go down in price point. Keep the payment the same. We got to just reduce the price point, right? We got to take a look at those features that we want in a home, in a neighborhood, and say, okay, what things are negotiable?
But Matt, my client, they want a certain style of house and a certain level of home. Like why I can't get them to go to a lower price.
Well, then they're not going to buy. but I know, and people say that, and it says, yes, I understand that. However, the playing field has changed, so we need to reset and have another broad conversation about what would they be willing to do then to have that home, or if it's a financial strain and they are maxed out, then what are they willing to compromise on, or do they want to go back to their current situation, which is always an option too. There are options, there are solutions. It's not black or white though. It's not, well, I can't buy the $500,000 house now that has all those things that I want, so I'm just not going to buy. It could be, well, I'm going to look at a $400,000 house that has less features, or I'm going to go talk to family and maybe we can find some other money, or maybe whatever, could 401ks, different options. Talk to their financial advisor, talk to their lender, get options. That's the whole thing is ask questions to receive options so that we can find other solutions, right?
Well, when I throw out the but Matt, I want to have a certain level of home. The first thing I always think about is what is their pain or pleasure level and what change is driving them to even be a buyer right now. Like when you find somebody who's like willing to compromise that fast to be like, well, we'll wait till the right home comes up, or I'm not willing to step down in price, so I guess I'm just out. I'm just not going to buy. Really? Like that is like dragging along a client with you that feels really good because like I get to say I have a buyer. But the reality is they're not really a buyer. They're not really willing to do the things it takes to buy in today's marketplace. So right now they're just a person in our world, and it's great. But if we put the buyer off to the side and say, okay, what is truly a buyer? A buyer is somebody who's willing to buy in current market conditions. That's a true buyer. And I think a lot of people are, as these interest rates rise, you're going to learn who your real true buyers are, the ones that need to make decisions. And your job is to find them, not try to figure out how you can get them to step up in payment or whatnot. Like find the real buyers out there, the people that need to fix something.
Let's go into some facts and figures here, because I think when we look at the what you focus on expands part of this concept, we were talking about this CNBC article from, well, at the time of us recording this, it was just a few days ago. So this will be older news by the time y'all are listening.
Not that old though.
No, I mean, it'll probably just be the same thing with different numbers in a couple of weeks. But the headline is surging interest rates push mortgage demand down more than 40% from a year ago, which reading that headline, I'm going, 40% of the buyers just got wiped out.
Which, by the way, Matt, I use this stat as a way to kind of determine what's happening in the marketplaces. I've talked to lots of lenders over the years to say, where are your new applications at right now? And when those applications start to drop, it makes that little pit in my stomach go, ooh, okay, pay attention. We got a change coming on, but there's more information. Keep going.
There is more information. So while total volume was down 41% from the same week a year ago,
41%.
41% total volume, right? Of that, applications to purchase a home were down just 9% compared to a year ago that same week. So, oh my goodness, 41%. But when you, as from a realtor, they're like, 40% of the buyers are gone. Well, actually, no, only 9% have fallen off in terms of mortgage applications just that week, by the way. We're taking a snapshot in time. And yeah, there are going to be a lot of buyers that decide to hang it up. Like, hey, I just can't afford to play in this market. That's going to happen. But it's a smaller percentage than what we really think it is.
Yeah, you take 9% away from 41, then what you're left with here is all the refinances, which makes total sense.
Yeah, refinances are down 62%. Yeah, who wants to refinance a 3.5 into a 5? No one.
That makes total sense. But again, if you're just reading the headlines and just looking at the information to determine what the marketplace is doing, this is really misleading. And again, we watch people that go down, they take this information, they talk with their neighbors in their office, they talk with other clients, and they start this downward death spiral And guess what? What you focus on expands. The more you focus on, applications are down. Buyers aren't going to be able to buy. These interest rates. Like it just keeps spiraling down until, yeah, you're right. You're out of business.
Yeah. And I think there's more of a reason for mortgage companies to be focusing on positive sides, because realtors, y'all can help people buy and sell homes a lot. With mortgage demand being down, refinance demand, they even quote in this article. So a lot of companies are laying off employees because that is impacting their bottom line. That's a whole nother conversation. Back to the realtor world, and what I'm looking at here is, okay, yes, prices are going up, interest rates are going up, inflation is increasing.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. The report that came out yesterday, I was like, wow, okay. Not surprised, by the way. Maybe y'all are surprised, but I was like, all right, yep, hold on to your buckets or whatever else you need to hold on to right now. But people still need to buy and sell homes, right? There's still opportunity to move people around, and people are looking for really strong, trusted advisors. If we're focused on, interest rates are going up, it's going to be impossible to buy, your energy is going to come into any new consultation, and it's going to sour a potential awesome relationship that you can have potentially without you even knowing it.
Well, you don't even have to say it. Like your energy that you've brought with you because of what you've been focusing on, you just bring this crap energy with you, and you resonate that energy onto the person here that's like so excited about being a buyer right now. And all of your energy just basically goes like, yeah, this person's not going to probably turn into a buyer because we're going to go see if we can get them approved and yada, yada, yada. And they're going to be shot down by the interest rate and shot down by their payment. And this is just not going to turn into a deal. And that's all your issues.
It is. Well, Garrett, going back to what you had said, you get approved for the payment, not the rate. And that's very important. I think Aaron had brought this up on a coach's conversation at one point, the 10-10-10 rule, right? And getting your buyers comfortable with like, yeah, when you submit that offer, 10 days after it, you're still going to be going, man, what am I paying for this house? 10 months later, you're still going to be like, that mortgage payment and that interest rate is not what I expected it to be. But 10 years, your buyers are going to love it. They're going to have all the memories and wonderful things. I was just talking to somebody the other day too, and like, okay, well, if you're getting approved for payment, and you look at it overall, because we're talking debt to income ratios, a lot of people carrying 2 car loans around, right? Get rid of one. What if you got rid of a car? There could be an extra $300 to $500 a month that you can now maybe help contribute to a mortgage payment.
Or more. I'm always amazed what people will pay monthly on a depreciating asset, but they won't pay on an appreciating asset. Always blows me away. I'm like, really? Like that's your decision?
And if you have a buyer who's in a car lease right now, that like they can probably profit off of it by getting rid of it right now. Anyway, point being, like, there are so many ways that they can make a shift to potentially help them get the home. If that is truly their priority, if they're saying the pain or pleasure level is high enough, we're like, yes, we must find this house and figure out a way to compete. Okay, let's look at everything in your world then. Talk to your buyers about these things. Talk to your sellers who also need to buy. Let's talk to them about those things. It can make a big difference.
Well, and I think when you get so stuck on just the interest rate alone, what starts to happen is like I've heard in the last week, I've had numerous people that have closed deals with ARM loans. I haven't seen an ARM for I don't know how long. And I love it because there's a lot of new brokers out here right now that have never even seen, like they've never seen it at all. There's a lot of mortgage brokers out here right now that have never seen it all, which, by the way, any of you who are realtors working with lenders out there, go sit down and figure out the programs that your trusted lenders have to offer and what they understand and how they can explain them. Same thing with lenders out there right now. Anybody listening to this, go get educated on what these programs mean and what they're out there, because these programs, I'm not recommending all of them, by the way, but these loan programs that are out there, what they're going to do is they're going to help keep the payment affordable, and it will allow more people to be a buyer if that program works for them. And there are people, like I've had many friends that have used ARMs over the years, and they're like, I don't buy homes any other way. That's how I do it. I'm only going to stay in that home for a short amount of time, and I'm out of it, and I'm moving along to my next house. It's brilliant for those people. It's just the education up front that allows them to keep the payments low for themselves if those programs work for them.
There's so many things. And I feel like realtors tend to try to play the protector, right? And I think this is where, well, rising interest rates, I need to protect my people. I can never recommend these programs or things like that. We're not telling anybody to recommend anything. In fact, you shouldn't be. You should be saying, hey, here's some options. Have you talked to your lender? Have you talked to your financial advisor? Have you talked to whoever you need to talk to better understand what options might be available to you so that they can make the best decision for them. And then you can help them go execute on the purchase side and write great contracts.
I have an analogy. Hold on, Matt. I had just had a breakthrough moment. So you're at Denver International Airport and you need to get to Fort Collins, Colorado, right? There's a handful of ways that you can make the trip. And there's some of us that sit there and go, oh, you take the E470. That's what you do. You go that route. You take that road every single time. Yeah, but it's a toll road. There's some extra cost by taking that road. Okay, so you can also take this route. Yeah, this extra route you can take over here. You avoid all the tolls, by the way. Yeah, but it takes you into downtown traffic. Like you have all these types of things in it. Okay, you can also take a wider route and go down through, like literally go through downtown. Are there the right moments and right times that you would want to take the other routes? Yeah, there are.
You could also take a shuttle or rent a car. I mean, there's those options too.
There's all these different ways to get from Denver International Airport up to Fort Collins, Colorado. And the beauty of the traveler with the travel advisor, that the travel advisor is saying, let me tell you all your different ways you can make this trip for yourself. Some of them are going to cost you a little bit more money. Some of them are going to do this. By the way, there may be some that you may take this wider route and it actually doesn't really hurt or make or break you on time because there's no traffic right now because of the time of the day you're going through. You should maybe look at taking that route. All you are as an advisor, giving them all these different paths, what the kind of makes or breaks of them are, and then they get to make the smart decisions around them. And when it comes down to this payment and different loan options that are out there and all these things, just give them the paths. And yeah, I think you can share the upsides and the downsides. If you were to take that route, you're going to get stuck in rush hour traffic. It's going to take you 2 hours longer to get up to Fort Collins. I want to know that because I might still take it to save my toll. Damn it, I'm not paying tolls.
If you have the time, right? Be like, well, I can make some phone calls. I don't mind, hanging out. Although if that's going to cost more gas money, I don't know what's gas running in Colorado these days as well, right? That's going to factor into it too.
Maybe I hired a town car. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to set up my little office in the back of it. I got my computer. I got my phone. I'm going to work for the extra hour that I'm there. It doesn't cost me anything more. It's all okay.
That sounds kind of enjoyable, actually.
And there's beer in the town car, by the way. There's a full bar.
What's on tap in this town car?
Can we just circle all the way around? Let's go through Kansas, actually, on the way up to Fort Collins.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
All right. We got way off track.
I think that's a good analogy because coming back to where we started on this, if you're just focused on rising interest rates, you're blocking yourself from seeing the other opportunities that are available. Because in this moment, there's not much we can all do as an individual to change interest rates, right? But you still have these buyers who want to buy a house. And if you're just saying, well, if you're going into this is going to be impossible, you're not going to see the options, which is going to lead to further client frustration when they're getting beat out. Like, well, we just can't. And there's going to be a lot of can't talk, which is going to come back to you then. And it's just going to be this vicious circle. So know that, yes, these things are happening, but your clients are getting approved for payment, not interest rate. So don't focus so much on that interest rate.
So let's, for fun, just jump over here to inventory for a second, because there's another one that what you focus on expand. We hear people all the time, Matt, every single day, there's no inventory. There's no inventory. I would be doing so much better for my buyers right now if we just had inventory right now. And this is one of those ones that makes me stop and go, can you please tell me how many homes went pending this month and how many homes went pending the same time last year? And how about the year before that? And the reality is the numbers are up. Almost every market I've found, the numbers are up. From 2019, they went up to 2020. From 2020, they went up to 2021. A lot of times right now, I'm finding that they're staying kind of stagnant. They're not really growing anymore, but they are staying at a very high level compared to what they were back in 2019. So with that being said, there can't be a lack of inventory and keep these levels going. There's plenty of inventory coming into the market to keep these record number of sales that are happening. It's just moving so damn fast. Like that's the challenge. It's not a lack of inventory. It's moving so fast. And I think that that's what people need to pay attention to is that, I mean, I've been with my clients, Matt, I've been using the analogy of racing because racing just seems to work in my mind. there could be 150 cars on a racetrack. You're standing on one corner watching a race happen. And if you can imagine as this corner, you can't see the whole race, but you can see this one corner as the car comes into view, rounds the corner and goes out of view. That would be my active time of watching the race. That would be an active home on the market potentially. Like I saw it, it was like, boom, and it's gone. Because the minute it rounds the corner, it's pending race car now going away from me. You've got all these cars on the track that are racing and closing, and they're leaving the racetrack, and new ones are coming in. And I get this like one corner to see them active. There's so much inventory ripping through the marketplace. And so we need to change our mindset to there's an amazing amount of inventory. It's just moving really fast. And that little mindset shift when you're talking with your buyers, when you're talking with people that are like, so what's going on in the market right now? Like what's happening? And we sit there and we go, oh, there's just no inventory. I can't find inventory for any of my people. And that potential guy who's going like, well, maybe I was thinking about buying a house. And he's like, well, I don't want to get in the middle of that right now. Like that there's no inventory. You just killed an opportunity for some person.
It also limits your scope of where you're looking for it. Looking at some of the data on this as well. Now, this is, I think, just February numbers. We're waiting for March numbers, but pending home sales nationwide, according to NAR, down about 5% year over year, which sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot, in my opinion, based on the incredible volume that was done last year, for one. And two, that's a small sliver. I think Lawrence Yun said he's predicting contracts to be about 7% lower annually, by the end of this year. So, okay, so we sell a few less homes on the MLS anyway, right? Through some of these places where we track it. Your opportunity as an agent, if you're not focusing on, oh no, inventory, is to, well, how can I find more inventory for my buyers? Where can I go? How about I take a look at this warm list? How about I look for life changes within the people that I know? And maybe there's an opportunity to pull something together here. Maybe not. But if you are just saying there's no inventory, you're not going to even look at that. In fact, Garrett, I will say this. There was an interesting correlation that I figured out the other day to people that I'm working with who constantly say there's no inventory with how their warm list looks. People who are constantly no inventory, their warm list is very small or they're not paying very much attention to it at all. People who are abundant minded saying, yep, market's just moving really, really fast. We're looking for opportunities everywhere I can. Healthy warm lists, and they're doing great business. And that's a difference in mindset when you have a market that is, okay, somewhat down year over year in terms of pending sales, but still healthy in terms of the number of pending sales.
So you said pending sales year over year down 5%?
Yeah, for the month of February.
For the month of February. So, I mean, it's interesting if you take a look at your MLS and you go and you find out how many homes actually went pended, apply the math, 5%. You'll see the number's not drastic. It's not like, oh, this is a life-changing number that's happening in our industry. And I think it's something to pay attention to, by the way. I do think it could be a predictor of kind of watching where maybe things are headed to or what's going on. But it's amazing the pace that things are going through the marketplace right now. I'd much rather, the people that I'm coaching that I can get to see that, it's a very different conversation you have with your buyers when you're working with them of like, okay, we're getting in this market. I just got to prepare you guys. There's no inventory right now. Compared to there's plenty of inventory. We just need to be on our A game. I'm going to be paying attention for you. We're going to be looking in different little areas and we will find you a home. There's plenty of inventory. We just got to be ready to go when that inventory shows up in our life. And we got to move fast. Very different game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So I think, Garrett, so to pull this together here, which I love talking about this stuff because I'm constantly reminded of the power of having a good system and staying consistent whenever these things happen, because the agents out there that are doing well, I'm not saying that they're not stressed, that they're not working really hard and that it's easy to manage a market like this, but I'm constantly reminded that the system works. If you follow through with your flow, with your warm list, there's going to be opportunities. If you focus on the abundance and the opportunities rather than a rising interest rate or rising gas prices, which I know is impacting a lot of realtors because y'all drive a lot. But when you focus on the opportunity is there. So there it is.
And going back and just to, again, my wrap on this, with the what you focus on expands, it's amazing how powerful our minds are. And that's the reason we wanted to talk about this today is like we brought up inventory, we brought up mortgage applications down, we brought up interest rates and what's stopping people right now. And at the end of the day, what I choose to focus on is that life changes are always going to be happening for people. I don't care what the interest rates do. The inventory is available. I don't really care about the mortgage, like how many people are applying and things like that. What I do care about is in my database and in my sphere of influence, how many people are having life changes that are going to cause them to need help with real estate. And I hate to say it, people are still going to fall in love. They're still going to fall out of love. They are going to have babies. They are going to lose jobs. They're going to get new jobs and get promotions. The kids are going to go off to college. Like all these things are going to happen. This doesn't stop. This is reality of just how life works. And if you're focusing on those things and those people and that energy, you will find people needing your help with real estate all over the place. What you focus on expands. Go have some fun with it, guys.
There it is. So yeah, we can't remind you of that message enough. So guys, thank you. Hopefully you got some good stuff out of this. Hopefully now you're like going, wait, I know there's a few people that are listening to this, Garrett, that are like, wait, I got this idea now. I got this idea now. I got to ask this question to this person now. And you're going to turn this off if you haven't already and gone and called that person to ask those questions. So I hope that you got something out of it like that. Again, if you want to hang out with our community and us, because Garrett and I are in and out of the podcast group as well, you tag us in a post, we see it. You don't tag us in a post, we probably see it because we try to scroll through all of that stuff and read everything that's on there. Sometimes you guys get really into the comments and there's like hundreds of comments on a post and try to read them all. But head over to facebook.com/groups/the Ninja Selling Podcast. And that's where we're hanging out. So, and we're always here too. 2 days a week, you can expect us to be on your podcast app. And that's how it is. So appreciate you guys for showing up. Hope you have an awesome day.
Thanks, everybody. Have an amazing day. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like more, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com.
There you will also find links for more information about ninja selling and coaching. Have an incredible day.